have not. They're dead.
What about me?
You do not find good men right. Great watchtower. Have not. They're dead.
Just time.
And a minute. You do not find.
You do not know. What about?
And a minute. Have not.
What about? Things are now in motion.
We do not.
You do not know. You do not know.
I'm gonna.
Alright, let's give this thing a try. We'll see how it actually works.
Hi.
Now,
Whoa.
sounds like it's working.
I don't know. Are we both being heard?
Well, I don't know if anyone can hear you, dude. Yes, obviously it's working.
That's a whole lot of echoing we got going on.
That's all right. Now, yes, obviously it's working. Woohoo!
That's a whole lot of echoing we got going on.
Well, I'm gonna turn off that microphone. That's all right. Or that speaker.
I'm like, well, damn, that didn't last long. Turn my mic off. Shit.
Well, I'm gonna turn off that microphone. Or that speaker. There we go. So, yes, we are live. I don't know if we have a healthy amount of bandwidth, but I see a green light for now, although it's kind of flashing yellow every once in a while.
Well, that's
So
not
I
good.
apologize if it's a little chunky for you guys. So, Nate's sitting back there. I don't know what Nate's doing, but Nate can actually talk now, which is kind of cool. Of course, now he's out here, so he's not like. Yeah, just talking to me.
Just checking the camera to see what's in it.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well, I just did the brass guard for this, so you can actually you can see that in the camera here, up top in the camera formerly named as the anvil cam. And I decided to do something I don't do very often. I decided to go with some antler. And the main reason I don't use antler very often is because I hate working it. But I've got a really big hole drilled in here, and still have antler all over my pants. It's just nasty stuff. You know, you got to wear a face mask while sanding it. And it's the reason why we didn't go live earlier today as I was doing that, or as I was doing the guard. And we also didn't get back from our shopping trip until about 1 o'clock this afternoon. But otherwise, you can see the guard here. If I put it up on the camera. So just kind of going for like almost a modified desk guard on that. And I think it's going to look really nice with this piece here. But what I need to do before, there's still going to be a lot of sanding that has to happen with this blade. But it's going to be a little bit more beneficial to take this and do all the assembly and then sand it all together. I'm probably gonna take this brass, or actually I think it's bronze, but I'm gonna take this bronze and I'm gonna blacken it then, which I think will give a really nice contrasting look with everything else going on. Obviously, we'll get some tan colors coming out in the antler here after it's been sanded a little bit and buffed out. Plus, it'll age naturally. So that's kind of, that'll look good. So what I need to do is I need to start taping this stuff out. And Nate, do you have any green tape back there?
Green tape? Yeah.
Good, because I am almost out of it here. I figured we had a whole roll back there. Thank you. Use up what I can, but I'm gonna tape off what I'm gonna end up, like where I'm going to be epoxying, just to make sure that I get some clean lines. I am gonna put a little bit of epoxy on the top of the guard here. Again, I'm going to be going back over this and sanding it, but I did a recessed guard on this. I'll have to do a Patreon video on how I actually make these guards. But suffice to say, the guard itself actually comes up onto the blade and over the blade a little bit. So you won't see the very end of that blade because it's sunk into the bronze, into the material. So I just want to go ahead and tape that off just to make it easier to clean up and sand. And I'm also going to go around the blade itself. So, just lining this up, because I don't want to get epoxy onto the actual knife blade. Just keep everything nice and clean for good finished product. Okay, so that's that. See how everything's all taped off there. Just gonna bring my tape around. Yeah, this tape's gonna come off without a mark, without leaving any sticky residue on this bronze. I do want to make sure I take into account where the antler is going to be. So I still want all that material to go ahead and make contact. If we get any on the bronze here, we're actually going to be sanding pretty heavily just to blend the antler into the bronze. So that'll be taken care of later. So this backside, I know that there's some more sanding to do. However, because I fully intend on overfilling this as well, I think that, it's just best to go ahead. I'm going to dye the epoxy. So I don't want it staining the antler and have to try to sand that stain out. So I'm just going to take a piece of our masking tape here. I mean, I don't care if it's a little edge is being seen, but I just don't want a lot of it. Just trying to follow the contour of that as best as possible, making sure I don't see anything being proud on there. That looks good. That's just going to make cleanup a lot easier later on. And, I mean, it's not going to hurt anything to just take my excess and tape off more of that handle. Alright. So, Nate, what are you working on?
Absolutely nothing.
Absolutely nothing. Alright.
Yeah. I mean, I finished the masks today, so what else you want me to do?
Yeah, dude, those masks look awesome. I mean, we've been posting. If anyone's curious as to the masks that Nate's doing right now, stop touching the microphone. You can actually look at the Underhill Forge Instagram page, and you'll see all the mask stuff that we've been posting. One of them, I think, even has some prices on there. They're very, very detailed. Just in case you're wondering, we can send you some more detailed pictures. All right. Well, I guess we're getting to that point where it's time to
Oh man,
start thinking about mixing up the epoxy. For mixing
such
up the epoxy,
small head.
what I'm planning on doing is I'm going to take a little bit of our black leather dye, and the black leather dye, it's not going to set up as fast as the 5-minute epoxy would normally set up. Yes, gross. Evening, Jurgen. How are you doing, sir? I saw you posted something on Instagram, on our page. Appreciate it. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna give this a little bit of tint with the black leather dye. I think that'll look really good, and I just know that it's gonna have to sit here all night. Like once I get it all glued up, a few minor adjustments, but I'm not changing anything because once I go ahead and put something else into the epoxy, the setup time is just totally increased. So you can see Nate actually wearing the mask out there. Oh, I don't know. That looks a little gimpish.
Bring up the gimp.
Yes. I don't think it can go bad. If we're all having beer, then we're all on the same page, right?
Oh yeah. See, that's the next thing we gotta work on. Being able to drink while wearing
Wait.
the mask.
With that mask right there, Nate just said we need to be able to work on being able to drink with a straw. That mask right there,
True.
it will actually work. So I'm gonna grab some epoxy and some leather dye, and
Most importantly,
where did I put those?
Where did I put those paper plates?
Right there.
There we go.
If we're gonna do that, I'll probably mix up enough to do the handle at the same time.
Okay, we'll see how much this is gonna take. We might have to open up
Right.
the fresh thing of epoxy as well. But I don't have a problem with that. Are you ready to? Oh, you don't need much for that.
No.
Put my mechanical pencil back in my pocket. You mean the pouch that's hanging over there? Yes. Up and take a step. It will be a lot different once we get Nate actually mic'd up. But for now, they've got his little closet all mic'd up, and that's all that matters. Let's face it, we don't want to hear him all the time.
I mean, who really does? Pretty sure my wife doesn't.
Yeah. His wife doesn't even want to hear him all the time. That's why she sends him up here. Detachable pencil, yes, Jeremy. Way to make a reference to a King Missile song, but make it as abstract as possible.
Oh, that Jeremy guy, yet again, a no-show.
Yeah, you know, Jeremy, I thought you were going to show up here at the shop. We fully intended. We even got a bottle of Macallan 18. That's totally gone, by the way. Boy, I am using a massive amount of epoxy. You're in Gettysburg.
He must be sleeping on the couch again.
So you made it through the checkpoints, is what you're saying.
You have to invite me.
We did invite you. We invited you several times, starting last night.
We told you yesterday, come by and have a beer.
Yes, Nate said, come by, have a beer. That's an open invite. Our invites don't expire for 72 hours, so we don't feel that we need to constantly re-invite you. Yeah? What, it's not going to be enough epoxy? Well, I don't know. That's pretty black.
Alright.
Tell you what, why don't you take out what you need? If I need to mix more, I will. Yeah, it's definitely nice and black. Really well colored. While Nate does his thing, I'm gonna take a one of our little stir sticks, and I want one that's a little sharper, or something else that I'm gonna be hitting on that blade. That should work. Oh, we don't have any problem with drinking our flux solution. That's a paste. It's really hard to drink. So, Jeremy, we lost you at a beer. When have you ever stopped by the shop for a drink? I believe that answer is never. So what Nate's doing right now is he's actually gluing a button to the end of a antler handle here. A grue time? I've never heard of that. Is that a measure? Is a grue a measure of time, Jeremy? A few times. Okay, yes, but that's a bottle of whiskey, not a bottle of beer. I mean, so Nate, do you have enough there?
Yeah.
Okay,
So,
cool. So I'm going to start filling this up before this starts to set. And I think it's actually going to take more epoxy than this. Probably a lot more. Just trying to scrape it down the paper plate. I'd like is to get this about 3/4 of the way up through the hole here. That filled up about 1/3 of the cavity. So let's mix up a little bit more while this is still soft. Yes, it's absolutely the blacksmith's church. This is our religion. As a matter of fact, Jurgen, I've never mentioned this during a live stream, but I am actually an ordained minister, so we could actually create this as a religion if we really, really wanted to. How weird would that be? Jeremy, you are not alone. You know that we love you. Had we known that you were hanging out in Gettysburg today, maybe we would have foregone all the other, boring stuff that we were doing and visited you. By the way, just to give a shout out to Mr. Eichelberger there. If you're interested in what Jeremy does, Jeremy makes a lot of very big blades. You can check him out at Oak Mountain Armory on Instagram. Because we love Jeremy, so we're not afraid to plug him. There we go. That looks like it's enough. I think even if I was wearing rubber gloves, I'd still figure out a way to get this stuff all over my hands. Thank God the vise is freshly oiled, because Lord knows I'm probably getting some on the vise itself. There we go. That might be a little bit over full. Or it could be exactly right. I'm just going to take a little bit of epoxy here. Put a nice thick layer down the very top. Now, we're going to take our taped off pieces, trying not to touch the freshly sanded parts of this. Oh yeah, there's way too much here. Also, making sure that I'm getting any air bubbles out of here. I don't want it, we could have an air bubble down towards the bottom, so if I just push this in very fast, it would cause the epoxy at the top to just kind of push out. There we go. I don't want too much to spill all over. And it looks like we might just be about right. So line that up. I'm going to grab a shop towel just in case. Take some of these big globs off. I still need to make a shop towel holder. Maybe I'll do that tomorrow. while my students are working. We'll see if they let me live stream. Some of them might be camera shy. Okay, so we're going to let that go for a moment just to kind of start to set up. And I've got that. Get rid of this stick. I'm just going to toss this into the fireplace. All summer long, we just fill this thing up, so. Now I'm going to take that sharp pointed stick that I made. Just going to start filling in the voids here. I mean, I can do this with silver solder, but it's so tight. Like you would really be forced to try to work to get this off here. That's how tight of a fit it is. So literally, I'm just kind of going in and filling in some of the voids on this. And while the epoxy's still fresh, it's gonna flow down into those cracks. Hopefully give it a nice transition between blade and bronze. Jeremy's actually not too far from me. He actually used to work here at the shop. And occasionally, if we need the help, I'll call him to bail my ass out. If he's not too busy doing his own thing, which he's very successful at. There we go. I think we got all of our epoxy where we need it. Looks pretty good. We'll see if any voids open up here before this gets too solidified. This is a nice alternative to soldering. I don't necessarily like the idea of soldering blades. I think it can cause some heat treatment problems. Jeremy's people, obviously Eichelberger, you know, they're from Germany. Good. So now I'm just going to go ahead and line this up. Make sure everything is where I want it. Make sure it doesn't rotate or anything. In about 10 minutes, I'm going to go ahead and we'll readjust this, possibly turn it upside down just to make sure that any unset epoxy has a chance to run the opposite way as well.
Now, I have to remember not to touch the masks now that I've been playing with epoxy.
Did you just get epoxy all over the mess?
No, I almost went to grab and move one, but I'm like, I thought better of it.
For once, I actually
Yeah.
thought.
Jeremy, I don't know what that big word that you posted was, but that sounds pretty serious. Does that mean they're about ready to kill you or put you down? I guess killing is a very vulgar word. But if you were a horse, they'd put you down,
You
right?
stub your toe. Now we gotta put you down.
Yeah, apparently he got some sacroiliac brace or something. I don't know.
You got
An
a
elbow
for your
brace.
sack? What?
Yes. Jeremy, I feel so bad for you. By the way, Jeremy, can you hear the microphone back here if Nate talks into it?
No, he can't. Shh.
I'm just making sure that the audio's working. It's hard for us to test it live here in the shop. Obviously, we'll see it. Of course, you might be hearing me twice now with an echo back here.
Yup.
Who knows? Oh, wow, you can. Awesome.
Yeah.
And then every time that, I talk to Nate, he ends up walking out here. So that totally defeats the purpose.
Look, you.
Just looking at crap. All right.
Well, Jeremy, if you're not doing anything tomorrow, I have 3 students, and we're just, it's gonna be an easy weekend class. So
You should come teach it.
what's that? Oh, he should come teach it.
Yeah.
Now, you don't have to come teach it, but you can always show up. We're running low on lion's head. We've only got about half a case left, so. Nate, say something in the back room.
Hi. How's it going?
Okay, so as long as you can hear him as well.
Mm-hmm.
Then we know that we got everything set up the way that it should be. So the epoxy's still a little loose.
Holy crap. All right. Slight different.
Jeremy, you don't have to stand, bend, or walk well. We're just asking you to come drink beer. Like, we'll put a lounge chair out here for you.
Come hang out. What the hell? Why is this such a hard thing for you to comprehend?
There's a lazy boy at the house recliner, that we can go ahead and just bring down here. Prop you up with a little sign that says, "This be Jeremy Eichelberger." We'll put a little treasure chest down below and allow people to pay $5 to get a picture with you. Ah, I have an inversion table too. I can go pick it up. It's over at my parents' house. My stepdad now apparently is too old for it. Okay, maybe not. I don't know. But I'm sure Mom would let me borrow it for an afternoon for a friend. She'll probably watch us and go, "The hell I will. You're not allowed to take that into the shop." Yes, Jeremy, we know. If we give you drinks, you do tricks, and that's all that really matters.
Jump, monkey.
You're like the monkey for the kazuki player. Isn't that what that is? The organ grinder. All you have to do is give you a little bit of corn or a piece of hot dog, and yeah, all of a sudden you entertain us for hours. It's beautiful. So why does Nate need more? Oh, you have handles? Okay. Since we're live, Nate is actually going to he's actually going to put some handles on a big blade that he was doing. You know, it's really weird. That blade looks really, really similar to a much bigger blade that I did.
Yeah, kind of, except for you don't have the recurve.
Oh yeah, you do have a recurve.
I mean, it looks more like the one you just made out of Sandmine twice, and I made this 7 months ago. Copycat.
Yeah, but my standby pattern's really cool. You gotta check that out on Instagram. If you haven't yet followed us on Instagram and you're watching along, please go over to Instagram, look us up, Underhill_Forge. You can see the pictures of the blade that I'm actually working on right now. That is our latest post. That etch turned out beautiful. So, Jeremy, I wanted to finish it. I was actually thinking about finishing it today. However, apparently Nate has sold it already. So this is the problem when Nate shows up in the shop. He just starts selling stuff.
I mean, damn, what a horrible thing to have to do.
It makes it really hard to have a collection.
You know, stop selling shit at point.
No, keep selling. Please, please, please. So I'm just waiting for this epoxy to get a little bit more tacky. But I still want it to be in a state where I can give it a little bit of adjustment if I need to. However, when I turn it upside down, I don't want it to be thin enough or not set up enough that the epoxy runs out between the joints. And it's definitely starting to get there. Kerrigan, I can only imagine what kind of great German beer you're drinking. And even if it's just some like local swill that I don't know is really cheap, it's still probably better than half the beer that's available here in the United States. And yes, I know there's going to be a bunch of haters. Guys who are all big fans of microbreweries. But you know what? In my personal opinion, if microbreweries could learn to make something other than an India Pale Ale, I might actually be interested. But unfortunately, it seems like 10 years ago they discovered the India Pale Ale, the IPA, and that's all anyone ever makes. So if you overhop it, I can't tell what your skill at brewing beer is. Yeah, it's like Nate is absolutely correct. It is the pumpkin spice of white guys. You know, soccer moms are all about their freaking, you know, their pumpkin spice latte and hot chocolate. Yes, I absolutely agree with you, Jeremy. Everybody covers up their lack of skill in brewing by just giving a shit ton of hops, and it doesn't make good beer. Like, oh, look at how much I can cover this up. Well, show me do me a Vienna-style lager, and show me, like, all the subtle nuances that you can do with, like, some Haltar hops and, you know, what kind of malt and, you know, give me some subtle barley flavors in there. make something along the lines of Corona, but make it not Corona. You know, it's you can do an awesome
We have
amount.
lots of Corona, thank you.
Jeremy and I actually sat here drinking Corona when the whole shutdown happened. We're Corona brothers. But technically, Corona is a Vienna-style lager, which is why I mentioned that. Well, Jeremy, I don't necessarily agree with. I know that you misspelled lager, and you probably didn't misspell it. It was probably your spell check, and even if it wasn't you, or wasn't your spell check, we're going to say it was. But you know, pilsners are lagers. That's like saying start with a cow or start with a horse. And then you're saying, or you could start with a mule instead of a horse, but you know, they're all still horses, really, except for cows, which are totally different than horses. And ales and lagers are totally different, but a pilsner is a type of lager, so. Whereas a Belgian white beer is a type of ale. But I agree, go with those lighter style, like a Pilsen, Vienna style lager, you know, something along those lines, and you can actually show me your skill as a brewer. But when you give me an India Pale Ale or an ESB that you over hop with like 20 different types of hops, I can't really tell that you're good. You just over seasoned everything. And I'm not saying that we're beer snobs here, but you know, we are a little bit, some way, shape, or form.
Let's go get some Christmas beers. Oh wait.
Nate's referring to the wonderful pine tree flavored beers that he showed up with one day here at the shop, and they still sit in my fridge, back up at the house. That was in what was that, like November? I think you brought those. Like November, he showed up with some seasonal Christmas beer, and it's still. We may finish it this Christmas.
Yeah. We can cook with them.
I don't think so.
Oh, come on, they weren't that bad.
No, but they're very. They've got some juniper flavors in there, some like flavors I don't think that I would use in typical things I use beer for. Like, say if I was doing shrimp, I would definitely not do shrimp in that
Do a
beer.
chicken with it. Chicken would work with that.
You're right. Chicken and juniper goes well together.
Oh yeah, that microphone dropped back here.
The pommel should be a bottle opener.
What about our bottle openers?
Yes, Jeremy, you are absolutely correct. As far as most blacksmiths are concerned, I think that between the two of us, and let's include Nate in this as well,
Whoa.
I would assume that we actually have a broader experience of alcohol and adult beverages compared to some other blacksmiths who may claim superiority in that. I wonder if Fiege Pilsner is something that we can actually get here in the state. See, this is what we want, those awesome microbreweries. Just like, I know guys from the Czech Republic who absolutely love Lion's Head, which is a Pilsner. And, you know, they think that this is actually probably the best Pilsner they've had in the United States. Because it doesn't try to pretend to be something exotic.
Shit.
it's just a small beer. It's a light beer, you know. What's cool is I can feel the epoxy setting up. I can feel the heat from that. So here we go. Czech beer. We love Czech beer. Well, except for Pilsner or Kel. I'm just not a huge fan. I know other people that really like it. I think Jeremy actually likes it. Didn't you bring some Pilsner or Kel here to the shop not too long ago, like a month or two ago? So I'm going to start, before this really sets up a lot, I'm going to pull my mask off the backside because our epoxy isn't flowing anymore, so I don't have to worry about it getting all over everything. However, I don't want to take it off the very front side of this guard because it's still really, really tacky. And if I remove it, it's going to pull out of the voids that I was filling with it earlier. But I can take it off the bottom side or the back side of the guard, and I can probably, if I can find the start of my mask, I can take it off this side as well. Or I can just go into the other room. Sorry, just reading. So I'm catching up right now. Czech beer just around the corner. Pilsen City in Czechia. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we're very familiar with the style of beer. We have quite a few of them here. Of course, last night we were talking about that really expensive Icelandic beer. What's that called? Eisenbach? Or Einstock? Einstock is the name of it. Maybe it's not that expensive in Iceland. I wouldn't expect it to be, but damn, is it expensive here. I'm just taking a razor blade. I'm just kind of peeling away my mask here. That looks good. I've got a little bit of a seam. I don't know if that's showing up. Probably doesn't show up on the camera. It's a little bit of a seam. If I let this go about another 5 minutes, I think it's...
Hey, warning, the wife's watching.
Oh no, Steph's watching?
Yeah, she's watching. Well, that's what she says.
Well, damn it, now we can't have any fun.
I know.
You know? This is horrible. This is why we shouldn't live stream. Other people can just watch what we do. It just eliminates all the fun in life. She gets to see you sitting in the back room doing what you normally do, which is nothing.
Hey.
I'm kidding. beer has to be really high as far as alcohol by volume in order to be considered explosive. I think the problem is that all the bottles are under pressure, and sending it via air, is
So what you're saying is Golden
kind of
Monkey.
a scary thing. And the United States has a shit ton of taxes because everybody wants to get their money. I've had friends try to send bottles of whiskey back from Scotland, and they get confiscated at the border over various excise taxes and alcohol taxes and what have you.
What's that?
It was the tape off of the
You have a trash can right there.
off that.
Oh, it looks good.
Yeah.
Oh, I guess you guys can see that.
Kind of. Yeah. We'll see. I mean, I'll have to clean the whole top.
No,
off.
it looks pretty solid on there.
Yeah.
But yeah, maybe is that painted in here?
The black.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Could if we clean this off in a unorthodox manner, could you go ahead and repaint it?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well, that's not a huge problem then.
No, not at all.
Yeah, 4%, 5%. This is what is this, Jeremy? You should know.
What, Lion's Head?
Yeah,
Uh,
I want to say it's around 4.5%, but I'm not sure. I'd have to look it up on their website. It doesn't say on their bottles. Thought it used to.
4.5. Says it on the six packs.
Oh, it says it on the six pack.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's 4.5%. Well, we love Bach beers as well, like my box.
Your Bach, my Bach, his Bach.
Those nice spring beers that are brewed in the fall. By the way, I guess Jurgen, you're in Germany. Like, this is the middle of Oktoberfest for you, isn't it? Or the very end of Oktoberfest. Now I'm waiting for the delayed response. So what, that started on the 17th or 18th? Maybe the 16th, I don't remember. So I'm just taking a razor blade and cleaning some of this epoxy. Still needs to set up a little bit more, but if I take it and get it all into one place, that's hi, Steph. You know, we have never said anything bad about you in a live stream. As a matter of fact, all we've ever talked about is glowing praises. As a matter of fact, it's amazing. Like, yes, she's commenting. She says I'm watching. Nate just said, "Oh God." Sorry, he's not mic'd right now because he's not back in his room where he belongs. Otherwise, he could talk to you, Steph. I don't know. 8% ABV, that sounds dangerous. It sounds like Sounds like that crap another buddy of mine brings down here. But he likes to go for all those super hoppy beers. I'm just not a big fan of that. Yeah. Yeah, Mason brings that stuff down. No, I think that's gonna work out really well. I don't want to take the mask off the gear. I realize that in the morning this is going to be a lot worse or a lot more difficult to take off, but I can go ahead and cut. So no, I'm sorry. I'm not about to pay for big follows. But don't worry, I'll be reporting you to Twitch for spam. Normally we get those like right at the very tail end of the stream. Or maybe you're just telling us that we should make this tail end of a stream. But I don't care. You can stop trying to spam my channel. I get that we only have 19 followers on Twitch, but at the same time, we earned them. We didn't pay for them. Unlike other people. We're going to keep on earning our followers. So I'm just lifting this up. Really, overall, the weight on this is really nice. Very happy with it. I can't wait until it's, absolutely finished. Looks like I got everything pretty much in the alignment that I wanted it. What kind of chisel you're looking for? There's one, I actually have one out on the trailer right now. Looks really nice. Once it's all finalized, it's, kind of made to have some sort of congruity. I think I'll be very happy with this knife. This is actually going to be my personal hunting knife for 2020 and 2021. Until Nate decides to sell it. I'm not getting rid of this knife until I dress a deer with it.
Well, that starts in a couple weeks, so you got time.
That starts next Saturday.
See?
So 8 days from now, hopefully, we'll see what happens. Oh, people are talking. I don't know. Hey, we love the fact that people actually can recognize our dying profession. It's the art involved in everything. And I mean, this kind of looks shitty right now, but wait until I go ahead and post pictures of it on Instagram, once it's all finalized, I think this is going to be a really nice knife. I'm really looking forward to using it. I still may have to take that handle down. It's a little bit too big. I don't mind the flare at the back, but where my hand naturally sits, once we get this tapered and, I want it to be very organic into the bronze. But once we get that taken care of, I still may narrow this down a little bit just to, I don't know, make it a little bit nicer for my hand. Screw anybody else, I don't care.
Your small, feminine hands.
Yes, my small feminine hands with all the calluses and scars and everything else. Essentially, I think our hands are about the same size there, Nate. So I'd watch how you talk about that. But yeah, I think for now, just leave it at that. And I'm not going to do another video on this knife. I think you saw enough of what you need to see, and I'll end up doing the finishing work off camera and definitely posting everything to our Instagram account. And Nate needs me to do something. What do you need me to do? So Nate right now is trying to chisel off a pommel on a knife because he made the handle about 3/4 of an inch too long. I can sharpen it too. Oh, okay. Oh, I thought you meant the chisel wasn't sharp.
Chisel's fine. I was worried about the blade at the edge.
Well, Jurgen, we'll see. Hopefully I get a deer next week. Or sometime over the next 4 months, because our season is about 4 months long here. Till the end of January. I can get a total of 3 by law. Only because I didn't apply for a 4th license. Here, Nate.
What?
I'm gonna give you this.
You can talk to everybody, and I'll be right back. Sitting here whacking on things, and you ain't talking to them. They're not gonna hear that.
Where this spot is. I like talk to people and stuff. You're in my ass.
Beautiful. Now you take some time off. Don't forget to explain what you're doing.
I have successfully removed the pommels. What I'm doing. Oh wow! All right. I don't even have that much to clean out of it either.
Don't forget to talk to Stephanie. Don't forget to talk to Stephanie. She's listening.
I know. I actually meant that to my wife, not you, Jeremy. Just saying. So, let me, I can actually come over here. One of these, wherever this, there we are. See, the line is where I'm actually going to move this pommel shoe, bring it back in, where it's actually swing around here, to a good sized handle for the knife. So that way, that'll work there, instead of being all the way out here. It's just stuck out. I mean, you're only talking about a 4-inch blade, so just the handle was too long. So, hi. See, it actually.
Oh wow, that really filled in those gaps there.
Yeah. So it's not going to be that bad, considering. I mean, I got to take out a little of the wood chips inside it, but luckily not horrible.
go.
So,
Being that,
so Stephanie, the whole reason why I actually started up this whole live stream thing was just so that when Nate came back, you could actually watch and see what we were doing to make sure that we weren't slacking off.
more than usual.
More than usual. I mean, you've been here while we were working, so you know what kind of slacking off we actually do. But this way, the entire world can watch and see what it is we do. But if you want detailed explanation as to what we do, then you need to go ahead and become one of our Patreon subscribers and support us that way, because we'll give you tons of inside tips and the hell are you doing? And we'll give you what to do and what not to do.
3-in-1 oil.
No.
Clean it and actually rehydrate the leather.
Yeah, we might as well start soaking it a little bit.
Yeah. Because like I said,
It looks like somebody definitely modified that knife. Here, hold it under the camera a little bit. Like it looks like there's some finger choil kind of
they're
things.
in this too, in the other one as well. So
I don't think they're factory though.
I don't know. I mean, I'd have to
I've
look
seen
it up.
plenty of catalogs with them, and I don't think I've ever seen that listed in the catalog.
So, I mean, because the whole thing from here to here is like narrow.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, it's just a little tiny stick tang. It's 3/16 of an inch, I think.
yeah. I mean, the scary part is, I mean, you could always get somebody who would actually probably know.
Nah, we don't need to. We don't need to involve outside help right now. I think we're doing just fine on our own.
I mean,
We've got a few restoration knives that we need to take care of tomorrow. While I'm teaching class, that'll be actually a really good time to do it, because those guys will be hammering, and once I set them to a task, they've got their tasks to do, and that's about it. Yeah, that should set up. That's still very tacky.
yeah, it's tacky. I might have to still put in some over on this side,
Yeah.
but that's fine.
Oh, maybe we should go out to the other room so people can hear you.
I mean, they can hear me. I have this on.
Oh yeah.
But you can have it back, buddy.
Oh, great. Now, so Nate's scanning me my microphone. You didn't even hit it on correctly.
No, I didn't. You're right.
Alright, let me turn this thing on.
Yeah, you do that, buddy. Because,
That's all right. It's about 7 o'clock, so I figure we've been streaming now for an hour and 10 minutes. That's it's about 25 minutes longer than I wanted to stream for. So I'm gonna go ahead and sign off and say thanks a lot, guys, for watching. Appreciate every single one of you being here. As always, eventually we'll get to a nice schedule, and who knows, we'll start doing more things. Yes, Jeremy, you don't have to be alone. You can always text me. You know that. We can even video chat over, I don't know how it works, because I have an iPhone and you have an Android phone. But, we can Zoom chat if you really wanted to, Jeremy. And we can keep you entertained for at least a little bit. But I've got to go make dinner because I'm hungry.
food is good. That's why. Because food is good.
Because dinner is good.
Yes.
Tonight, sorry, Steph. I know you missed out on the squirrel dinner yesterday, but I know Nate sent you pictures. Tonight it's a Friday night, a typical Friday night, so it's beer and hot wings, and that's how we're gonna roll. Maybe we'll find some nice movie or something to watch, something cool. But you're right, Jeremy. There's nothing in Gettysburg Ghosts these days. So, all right, guys. Thanks again for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe. go just like the video that you're watching right now, and also subscribe. Click on the notification bell. That way you get annoying announcements to tell you every time that I go live at some random 42 a day. And anyway, we'll catch you on the flip side.
Bye, kids.
Possibly we'll go live tomorrow, but I'm not sure. It really depends on the students. So we'll definitely see you next week, next Monday. So with a whole new project. Good night, everyone.
Just time. Wait a minute. You do not find. You do not know. What about in a minute? Lose 500. We do not stop riding. When do you mean? First Tetris. Just time. Wait a minute. You do not find. Just be through down my enemy. Lose 500. We do not stop riding. Just time. In a minute. You do not find. Just be through down my enemy. What about you? Things are now in mush. We do not know pain. You do not know. I'm gonna. Just time. In a minute. You do not find. You do not know. What about in a minute?